It's been 8 years since Donald Trump's 2016 primary campaign started, and we've come full circle to him making exactly the same failed promises from the first term for the second term, and it's as much of a disaster as you can imagine. Donald Trump is now reviving his plan to dismantle Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, if indeed he gets another 4 years in the Oval Office. And so what's important to think about here is, yes, if Donald Trump gets elected, he's going to try to do the things he's indicated. He's going to try to use the Department of Justice and weaponize it against his political opponents. He is going to make every effort to shut down media outlets that he considers disloyal or unfriendly to him or whatever the case may be. He is again going to just gush over dictators and make friends with dictators and make enemies out of our historical allies. He's going to do all of those things. But on a practical matter, when there is any policy in there to actually look at, it's the same disastrous promises from 2016 all over again. Donald Trump, once again, is saying he is going to get rid of Obamacare if he becomes president. Is this even possible at this point? Well, we're going to discuss that in a moment. But here is Donald Trump's declaration from his platform, Truth Social.
Truth Central.
Donald Trump posting, quote, "The cost of Obamacare is out of control, plus it's not good health care. I'm seriously looking at alternatives. We had a couple of Republican senators who campaigned for 6 years against it and then raised their hands not to terminate it. It was a low point for the Republican Party, but we should never give up." First of all, this guy has been promising for years that Obamacare is about to end. Remember this incredible viral moment when in August of 2020, Trump promised to then Fox News host Chris Wallace that within 2 weeks, he would have Obamacare replaced with something else? Remember this classic?
For 3.5 years, you don't have a plan.
We haven't had, excuse me, you heard me yesterday. We're signing a health care plan within 2 weeks. A full and complete health care plan that the Supreme Court decision on DACA gave me the right to do. So we're going to sign an immigration plan, a health care plan, and various other plans.
All in 2 weeks, we're going to be signing various plans.
And nobody will have done what I'm doing in the next 4 weeks. The Supreme Court gave the President of the United States powers that nobody thought the president had.
Okay. So the first thing to understand is that one of the reasons that Republicans and Trump made zero progress on replacing Obamacare with whatever it was they had in mind is that what they proposed was a disaster. They said they were going to come up with a big, beautiful replacement for Obamacare. Everyone would have better care for less money, and it's all going to be great. It failed miserably because what they proposed was a disaster. Back in 2017, Trump, working with Republicans, proposed something called the American Health Care Act. It was evaluated by dozens of serious organizations, and they all came to the same conclusion. If you replace Obamacare with the AHCA, as it was known, you will increase the number of uninsured Americans. The CBO said it would be by 14 million people. 14 million people would lose care that had care to begin with. Another estimate said by 2026, 24 million people will have lost care as a result of this. It had changes to Medicare in the proposal, which would have also hurt older folks. It had changes to Medicaid for low-income people, which would affect their ability to obtain health care. It would have allowed insurers to charge higher premiums for older adults than what was allowed under the Affordable Care Act. It was a disaster. And so the reason it didn't pass is because they proposed something that was a disaster. The really important, bigger issue is that at this point, Obamacare has been here for 13 going on 14 years. It's no longer really a separate thing. And so when Donald Trump truths about how Obamacare prices are high, there really is no distinct Obamacare. Obamacare was a framework which said plans, every state has to have plans that meet certain guidelines. And if the state doesn't do it, we're going to have a central clearinghouse, healthcare.gov, where you can shop for such plans. But the idea that there are Obamacare plans and non-Obamacare plans, if you look at the state connectors, I'm familiar with the New York one as a self-employed person. I just go and buy myself a plan. I did this when I was in Massachusetts and had a Massachusetts-based plan. You simply have a choice of plans, and the plans have to meet certain minimum requirements. The idea that there is Obamacare, which costs X, and everything else which costs Y, is silly. And that, I think, is the main takeaway, which is Obamacare is now just part of the system we have. There's no real way to just get rid of Obamacare. You could defund or try to outlaw elements of that healthcare act, but it is so integrated at this point into how healthcare is done that the mere concept of getting rid of Obamacare is nonsense. And by the way, Republicans get that at this point, we're not getting rid of Obamacare. It makes no sense. So Trump again raising the same failed promises for 2016. They are even less believable today than they were then. So I wrote another book for kids. The first book was Think Like a Detective. The point of the first book was to teach kids critical thinking, which Republicans don't want them to learn, because when kids learn critical thinking, they don't vote for Republicans. The new book is Think Like a Scientist. This is a fun adventure teaching kids the scientific method. Again, Republicans aren't big on kids learning the scientific method because when they do, they're less likely to fall for Republican lies about climate change and vaccines and so many other things. You can get the new book as well as the first one at davidpakman.com/book. This is part of the Adventures in Thinking series. Can you imagine that we're doing this? We are. davidpakman.com/book. 13,500 copies of the first book have sold. I'll bring you an update soon on sales for the second book. Think Like a Scientist. davidpakman.com/book.